So let's take a look at the top 25 for me and for them. So let's go through them as much as we can simultaneously and just see what the notes are like, because this is always a fun exercise for me to do, because one of the things that I'm always trying to do is, all right, let's see who's good, let's see why they're good, and let's see what the public will allow. So following last night, I said this, I believed it, and I did it. Feels like the AP did too. Alabama's number one team in the country. Best win of the season, undefeated. Easy, right? So they're up to number one and look like they might stay there until they get for real tested by Tennessee. And then we'll see. Number two, Texas, which is great because they were at one, but they went to two basically because Alabama's got a better win. But also, they've been able to remain 5-0 despite the starting quarterback being on the bench for 2 games because Arch Manning is just that good. And I love that story that they're telling because Arch could just as easily make this about him, say I deserve to be the starter, all these things that he just does not do. It's out of his character. And Steve Sarkisian has gone out of his way to go, look, I think we have a national title caliber team, and Quinn Ewers is that quarterback for that team. Love that. So you got to give that dude an extra couple of weeks to heal up, and he's going to be fully ready and prepared to go against Oklahoma because that's how much respect Texas has for Oklahoma. Love that. Number 3, Ohio State, right where they should be. That's the best team in the Big Ten for me right now. I don't see anybody else is really getting that close given what we've seen so far because that team is still sharpening. It's not rounded out to be what it's going to be, and that's what you would want if you're an Ohio State fan. You beat Michigan State 38-7 because you're supposed to, right? Jeremiah Smith goes off because he's supposed to. You look like the kind of team that is geared to win in December, not the kind of team that is geared to win in September, and I love that for them. Tennessee at number 4. We agree there too. I had Tennessee at 4 for the last 3 weeks. They move up after on a bye because Georgia lost to Alabama, and they're at 5 for me. They're at 5 for them. I think that's easy. Now we get a little bit different. I got Penn State at number 6. They got Oregon at number 6. More or less, I believe that the win that Penn State has against Illinois should count for more because Illinois beat 2 ranked opponents before getting to Penn State, and it was a really great performance by Penn State. They ran the ball. They played great defense. That's the way that James Franklin would like it to go. And when they need an explosive play, at least so far, Drew Aller has demonstrated that he can find guys. And I really love them being able to run that pistol with Tyler Warren in the backfield. Like that's fun. Wildcat, not pistol. Number 7, I got Oregon. Number 7, they have Penn State. So we just flipped them. Number 8, we both have Miami, who's down a spot because you were in a really tight ball game that you should have lost to Virginia Tech, but you are undefeated, and you feel like the best team in the ACC right now, though Clemson is closing. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Missouri at number 9 for me, number 9 for them. Finally, they get to play a real football team. They get to play somebody who is not in Texas 5A. They get Texas A&M, who got a really great win against Arkansas. Bob Petrino needs to just figure out that Taylor Green is not Ryan Mallett, and you need to be running the damn football. But that's another segment altogether. Number 10, they have Michigan. I have Clemson. I think what Clemson has done since Georgia has been phenomenal. They're stomping people out offensively. They have found the gear that they were looking for against Georgia, and they are wearing people out. Meanwhile, Michigan survives Minnesota, who scored 21 points on them in the fourth quarter. This is when I'd be asking, like, for real, are y'all watching these games? Because if you go tell me that Michigan is number 10 because they 4-1 with the loss to SC, with them having SC at 11, I'm going, do you see the way that they're winning games? Do you realize they don't have a passing offense to speak of? Apparently not. So I got Michigan at 11. They have SC at 11 with their win against Wisconsin. They got booed into the locker room at the Coliseum. I didn't know that the Coliseum had enough people in there to boo for anybody to hear it. That was news to me. And then USC decided to be USC, and they go beat up on Wisconsin 38-21. They're 3-1. I got Iowa State at number 12 there. They're 4-0. They're off to their first 4-0 start since 2000. They pitched their first shutout since 1999 all over Houston's dead body. And I watched what Houston was doing defensively, to Oklahoma. I learned to have a little bit more respect for them. And more than that, I got so much respect for Matt Campbell and what he is capable of and what his teams have been. Again, winning the Fiesta Bowl and the first major bowl victory of Iowa State, period, with Brock Purdy and Breece Hall, right? People remember Brock Purdy. I remember Breece Hall was damn unanimous All-American that year. Like, y'all better put some respect on Breece's name. Don't know who else I got to say about this. But Rocco Beck, also a quarterback, been absolutely amazing. His daddy, Anthony Beck, head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks. Very cool because I get to watch the UFL and cover the UFL. I got SC at 13. They got LSU at 13. Fine. South Alabama beat Appalachian State like they stole something, and then LSU beat South Alabama like they stole something. I watched LSU get into a dogfight with South Carolina. And I watched LSU damn near lose the football game when we knew all South Carolina had left was Rocket Sanders. And Rocket Sanders was hitting them over the skull. And Dylan Stewart was getting home. Like, it's, nah, man. I don't know. I don't have them that high. I got Oklahoma at number 14. They have Notre Dame at number 14. Fine. I'm okay with that. BYU at 15 for me. Clemson at 15 for them. I don't make, I don't know, man. You're undefeated, but I guess you're saying that loss to Georgia by 31 points is worth more than BYU being undefeated. Fine. Okay. Whatever. Then they have Iowa State at 16. I have LSU at 16. I'm fine with that. Again, the loss that LSU took to USC, I'm not sure about it based on what I've seen against Wisconsin, based on what I saw against Michigan. Is it one of the top 20 teams in the country? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I got Ole Miss at 17. They got BYU at 17. On what planet is Ole Miss supposed to take that L to a Kentucky team that can't move the football? Not this one. Okay? Lane Kiffin was 1 for 10 on third down. 1 for 10. Kentucky, meanwhile, looked like a world beater if you got a number next to your name, particularly in the top 10. Goodness me. What happens if Kentucky just beats South Carolina? Then how do we get to talk about Kentucky? You know what I mean? Number 18, I have Notre Dame. Number 18, they got Utah. Fine. It's there was no Cam Rising in that game, and it showed. Number 19, they have Oklahoma. Number 19, I have Boise State. I'm fine with that either way. Boise State only lost to a really good Oregon team. Oklahoma's only loss is to an undefeated and really good Tennessee team. Number 20, UNLV for me. For them, it's Kansas State. UNLV is 4-0 for the first time since 1976. This is after making the quarterback change because Matt Lucas said, y'all didn't pay me my money, so I left. And they said, that's cool. We got somebody who is better. Haj Malik Williams is... That dude went for 182 through the air and 119 on the ground, running that go-go offense. They're fine. They're good. I think between them and Boise State, the Mountain West is about to open up and be a lot of fun. At 21, I have Kansas State. They have Boise State. 22, I have Illinois. They have Louisville. I think Illinois' 2 wins against ranked opponents should count for more than Louisville's 1 loss to Notre Dame because they ain't beat nobody. I don't really understand that one. I do have a problem with it. I would flip those 2. I think if you beat ranked opponents, I don't care that they're not ranked anymore. They're not ranked because you beat them, in part. That should count for something. I believe in that stuff. Number 23, they got Indiana. I have A&M. Okay, sure. I think it depends on how much do you care about Indiana not beating anybody with a number next to their name and how much do you care that A&M beat Florida, beat a good Arkansas, and got beaten by what we think is maybe a good Notre Dame, ? But we still got to talk about them because Notre Dame is a ranked opponent, right? Number 24, I got Utah. Number 24, they got Illinois. Number 25, I have Indiana, and they have UNLV. Indiana is off to its first 5-0 start since 1967, but I caught some hell about from Rutgers fans. Shout out to the 2 of you for not including Rutgers in this, and I'm like, it's kind of like with Indiana, dog. If y'all are still undefeated in mid-November and I don't have you ranked, then talk to me. Then talk to me. But until then, I need you to beat somebody with a number next to the name, particularly in the Big Ten. Okay? And then we can go from there. You'll get an opportunity. It's coming. Just remember that you need to win that game and then come to me and tell me what I didn't do or what I need to do. Teams that got votes for them in the AP: Arizona, Pittsburgh, Nebraska, Boston College, Iowa, James Madison, Oklahoma State, South Carolina, Rutgers, Kentucky, Navy, SMU, Army, and Colorado. Okay, Colorado got a point in there. I would love to know who that point came from because that's literally one person said Colorado is the top 25 team. So y'all need to go find out who that is and go talk to them before you talk to me. That's the other thing. On the way out here, want to shout out those of you once again that remember what it was like for this show to be really gritty and really grimy, because that's what the hotel show reminded me of. We were at one point really gritty and really grimy, and there's a whole bunch of day one people that's like, oh yeah, it's almost like I can hear RJ's mama throwing that can at somebody. It's almost like I can hear RJ going snap the damn ball. It's almost like I can hear RJ yelling about Mike Stoops. Because that's what that was. It was slow internet. It was slow Wi-Fi. It was choppy. But y'all showed up, and y'all gave it your love. I'm very tired today. I've had a emotionally exhausting weekend in addition to what we really were having fun with last night. So once again, I appreciate y'all for sticking through, being with me, showing up, giving love, showing love. And we'll be back at it Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the week ahead, talk about what we learned. I'll do some segments, I'm sure, between now and then. Catch up with Quincy Avery about a couple of quarterbacks, maybe 3 that we want to talk about. And then before you know it, we back to doing the live show and getting it how we live. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of the Number One College Football Show. If you do not subscribe to the show, please consider doing that right now. Be nice to get to 112,000 subscribers by the time we kick off on Saturday. That's going to be it for me. Deuces.